So what's the challenge of the Flyers tonight?
Oh, good team. Obviously, they work hard. Every game from here on out is going to be a good challenge, so looking forward to it.
Scott's playing his old team. How much kind of emotion does that inject into a game like tonight?
It'll be weird for him for sure. I've been there a few times, and it's a strange thing that we do in our game, but I mean, it's also a business, right? So you got to find a way to separate that, and after a shift or two, he'll be fine.
How do you think he's settling in?
He's doing great. It's I honestly believe it's one of the hardest things, if not the hardest thing to do in our sport, is getting traded like that at the deadline. Literally from top to bottom of the challenges that come with that. Not even anything to do with hockey, just away from the rink. It's not easy, and he's doing a great job. He's just an unbelievable human being. He's playing great. So he's only going to get better, and by the time playoffs start, he's going to start to feel even more and more comfortable, which is going to be great.
What's the hardest adjustment you've had to make the times you've had to change teams?
I mean, I don't know. I could sit here and tell you a lot about that, but I'm just happy where I am now. So trying to stay focused on that. But in the past, I think anything from just like driving to the rink, or showing up and seeing different security people, like all those little details that you never think of. Breakfast. Okay, how do you get to the airport from the practice rink? How do you get to the airport from the game rink or from your house? Like, it sounds kind of dumb, but when you're so driven by all these rituals and routines that we have, it throws you off a little bit. So I think that was probably the biggest challenge, but it's also a really cool opportunity to grow, not just as an athlete, but as a human being, really. So you grind through with your teammates, and I think everyone's been supporting both Brando and Scotty, as much as we can, and they've fit in about as seamlessly as they could, and they're doing a great job.
You've been playing a lot with Nick Robertson. Like, what have you noticed from last year to this year in terms of the progression that he's made as a player?
Yeah, he can score, obviously, right? You give him the puck in the right area, he's going to put it in the back of the net. He's working hard. He's trying to grow his game away from the puck as well, and he's doing an awesome job. He works hard, and he's a great teammate, and he's only getting better every day.
Was it a tough end to a pretty good week last week for you guys? John Tavares after the game said, we should be PO'd coming off that loss. Like, what's your sense of the group heading into this one, coming off what happened Saturday in Nashville?
Mark, I've always told you, it's like we got a short memory around here, and you have to, especially at this time of year. But of course, when you come off a game like that, that's going to fuel you. So that'll be the positive we'll take away from it, and we're ready to go tonight. It's a good team, good test, and at our own building. So I'm looking forward to it.
What has stood out most to you about Brandon in these early days with him?
It's nice to be on this side of it with him. His stick is insane. He can kill plays and close on plays pretty quick. He's such a big body down low, and he's tough to get to the net too if you're battling with him in the corner. So also the thing that I didn't realize was how good he is at breaking pucks out. He's a great hockey player, and he's an even better human being. So we're super happy to have him here, and he's such a great dude. I'm sure you guys have talked to him quite a bit. You're getting to know him now, but he's awesome.
There's a difference too, Max, when these guys that both came in, they have term, right? They're not just here as rentals and maybe out the door this summer, but they're going to be teammates for a bit here going forward.
That stuff we don't even care about. Honestly, if you're on our team, you're on our team. That's the way we look at it as players. I know you guys are always going to look at it differently, but if you're on our team, you're on our team, and that's all we think about.
What's it like to go up against Konechny? What do you kind of respect about him as an opponent?
Yeah, he's a great player, man. I actually, going back to when he was a kid, I think he's cousins with Bo Horvat, so we went and watched him play when he was in minor hockey and playing in London, and he was a great player back then, and obviously he's turned into a superstar. So seeing his whole career kind of unfold, the way he plays hard every shift, very effective player. Watched him at that Four Nations tournament. He was super valuable for that team, and he's going to be a guy with a key on for sure tonight.
Scott, how is it going to be tonight playing your old team?
Yeah, I think talked about it yesterday after practice, but it's going to be different. Looking at the pre-scout, and I'm in some of the clips, so definitely a little weird, but we'll take it as it goes and get a good sleep in this afternoon and get back on track here.
You got some good chirps ready for Konechny?
Yeah, I'm ready for him. I've always been ready for him. We're always going after each other in the room anyway. So, No, it's there's a lot of good people over there, and a lot of good guys that are going to make that organization get through this, and a lot of good staff members too. So it's going to be good for them.
You have a chance to see anyone last night? So?
I saw staff throughout. I was just in the hotel, so they're in the same hotel. Got a room pretty close to Torts.
Is it fair to say Craig used you as a little bit of a resource with this game coming up as to?
Yeah, I think the way they play kind of explains itself. I think really hardworking team that plays simple, and so I think throughout maybe a couple questions throughout the day about them, but not too much so far.
Obviously, this is the first time you've gone through this. What's been maybe the most difficult or even surprising part of switching teams like this?
Yeah, like you said, I think it's the first time you go through it, so it's just it's a lot different. It's a whirlwind. I think going on the road and then being in the hotel again, and just everything that goes into it of being with the same place and having that comfortability with everyone, and in the room and things like that. These guys have been great with me, but it's different, and it's different going out there, and just your day-to-day routine probably is a lot different. And was fortunate that Chloe and Reed got into town, so I think that definitely helps, and it's been a good week.
Scott, going back to, I guess, the day before the trade, what were the emotions like on that day? Like, did you have a pretty good idea that you were getting moved, or were you really sitting on the edge of your seat the whole time?
I didn't know I was going to get moved, but I thought there was definitely a bigger chance than the years previous. So, yeah, I had those conversations with Chloe and kind of talked through it of potentials of where we could go or what could happen. And yeah, it was emotional. I think anytime you have a big change like that, I grew up in Philly and had our baby there and everything like that. So I think it's always going to be part of us and part of our home for sure. I think it's probably keep our place there and go back there throughout our adult life. So I think it's always going to be home for me. And yeah, it's emotional when you go through a big change like that.
You know those guys pretty well on the other side. You know Torts. Like, they're going through it a bit right now in terms of the results. Like, what sort of opponent are you expecting tonight?
Yeah, I've been keeping pretty close tabs on them, and like I said before, they work extremely hard. They have great guys in that room, and you know what you're going to get from them. So we're going to have to compete really hard tonight, win puck battles, and make it hard on them, and put pucks on net, and create for ourselves, because they do block a lot of shots. They play in tight, and it's hard to get to the net and generate. So yeah, it's going to be a tough game, and we're going to need to compete and win our battles.
Danny was obviously very open about his fear of a leadership void in the dressing room if you left. Knowing those guys that you do, or like you do you expect there's other guys in that room that'll be able to maybe step up and maybe assume some of the things that you did that made you so valuable to the organization?
Yeah, absolutely. I think off the top of my head, I think Sandy, I think he's taken huge strides with them, and you have guys like Nick Seeler who bring it every night, who just leads by example every single time. You got those young guys, Catesy and Bobby Brink and Forey, who have taken huge steps this year. So I think you have those guys continue to make steps, and obviously they have a ton of picks and go from there. But I think they have a good foundation in place of guys that care and want to do well in Philly. So I think they're set up, and I've said this before, but I think it starts from the front, and you have Dan Hilferty and Jonesy and Danny. So I think they're in really good hands.
Scott, how has it been for you on ice with the adjustment from a Tortorella coach team to a Craig Berube coach team?
Yeah, it's systems are a little bit different, I would say, but two very honest guys that you know where you stand, and I think that's all you want from a coach is to know where you stand, and yeah, so I think it hasn't changed a whole lot. I think they're two similar guys that want to get the best out of you, and they're hard on you, but I think pretty similar in their day-to-day ways, and even just like rest and everything like that. They're both pretty old school in that way, which is I think a good thing.
Do you have a favorite memory from Philly?
Favorite memory? There's too many. There's too many good people I met throughout the years.
Scott, you were pretty clear that you love Philadelphia, you love playing there, but I guess what's the degree of excitement on your part that you're now with a team that has Stanley Cup aspirations right now that's going to the playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm at the point in my career now that I wanted to play playoff hockey, and this is a great chance for me, and to be here at home with family is kind of the sweetener to that. But this is an unbelievable team that has really good talent, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited to get to the playoffs, not to look ahead too far, but to play in that hockey. That's why you play the game, and to have a chance to win the Stanley Cup, especially at the point now in my career, I think it's really special for me.
I heard you're wearing 24 for Nick Seeler.
One of the reasons I was going to go 49 on my old training camp number, but once this opened up, there's a couple guys who have worn it here, and then Seals is one of my favorite players. Going to stay away from him tonight, though.
Scott, facing his old team, how much emotion does that inject into the game for everyone?
Well, a lot for him, for sure. He was there a long time, and there's always going to be emotion for him individually playing his old team and everything that goes into it. But our guys will be ready to go.
How much did you use his knowledge in your pre-scout? You're showing clips, and there he is in them.
Yeah, I talked to him. Well, this was a while ago when he first got here. We were talking a little bit about the Flyers and their style of game, and we know the style. It's not changed much over the years since Torch has been there. It's a hard-working team. They got pressure everywhere, and they're competitive.
You mentioned the guys will be ready to go tonight. After the loss in Nashville, John Tavares had said, we should be PO'd, moving in. Like, what's your sense of the group?
Should be what?
Pissed off.
Oh, you're allowed to use that word.
Team should be pissed off.
Yeah.
Did you get that? Team should be pissed off. What is your sense of the group coming off that game?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they are upset about it, for sure. Coming out of the first, talking about the game, coming out of the first period, we're up 2-0. We're in good shape, almost make it 3-0. But it's a learning lesson, in my opinion, that you can't, get impatient in your game and get away from your game, and that's what we did in the second period. And next thing you know, we're down 3-2. So, yeah, nobody's happy about it.
How much do you start getting into kind of playoff mode? Like, the guys are not on the ice again for an optional. Like, is it just about conserving energy whenever you can get it between now and the postseason?
A lot of travel, and hockey, obviously, but a lot of travel with us in the last month, I'd say. A lot of travel, and we're heading out again tomorrow. We had a good practice yesterday, 30 minutes or more, and, pretty good pace out there, so I don't think there's any need for anybody to go on the ice this morning. Yeah, if they want to go touch it up, goalies like to get some shots, whatever, but we're going to need the energy tonight in the game.
How do you think Chris Taneev's done since he came back from injury?
Early on, I think it was his timing and things were not good. They were off. But I felt like he's gotten it back now. I think he's back to his game. Yeah.
So the Flyers, go ahead, please.
You had Scott Laughton as a young kid when you were with the Flyers. How have you seen his game kind of grow and develop over the years?
Well, I had him so young. I mean, I think coming in, we weren't sure exactly what he was going to be. I mean, in junior, I know he put a lot of points up and was an offensive player in junior, all-around type player in junior. And I think in the NHL, he's been more of a role player. But it still produces at, not at as high a clip as he did in junior, but he still produces. But, for me, he's a guy that's, he's got to be a checker, a guy that's in your face type player, produces around the net, gets to the net, just plays a hard style of game.
How have you liked his game, or has it progressed for you?
It has progressed, yeah. I thought last game was his best game.
So a lot of interest in the free agent you signed yesterday from Dartmouth who came. Just wonder, what do you know about him?
Not a lot. I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll work on that.
The Flyers are obviously going through a tough time right now, but when you look at them, what do you have to be aware of tonight? Like, what do you have to be
Well, like I said, their effort and their competitiveness and their pressure, I mean, they come. It's like they're coming with 5 guys all over the ice, and you gotta fight for your ice against them, and they're going to give everything they got. All John Tortorella's teams play hard and they compete hard, and they're coming, with pressure.